basic puzzle pieces in TinkerCAD. So depending on what shape you want for your puzzle, I think I will go with probably just a rectangle piece. So you want to drag your rectangle over, and it's a solid. If I wanted to create a hole, which I will later, I could make it a hole, but I'm going to make it pretty large. Let's just type in the dimensions. We'll do 100 by 80. All right, and then the hardboard is a height of 3, so you want to click that middle square and make it 3. Then we can move this around. So essentially we want to have a couple puzzle pieces. I think I actually may make it more narrow so it's easier to construct. So let's do a couple of these. So we want to select it, do Command C, Command V. Now essentially we know one of these has to have an extra piece and one of these has to have a copy of that extra piece, but as a whole. So let's try bringing over a cylinder. All right, so we want to make it 3 tall, so you can either click and drag, or you can select that middle square and then make it 3. Let's see, so if we wanted to kind of, it looks like we've come in so if this is 9 on the shape and we've made the shape, well, since the shape is 20, maybe we only want to go in, well, let's leave it 20 by 20, but as we move on here, I think we went in like 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it. Like, so right now we're 1 above that shape, so we want to stay at 0. So we're on the same. I'm going to come in about halfway. And this height of 3, we're at a 0, so they should be aligned on the same thing. And then we want to make this one, instead of a solid, we want to make it a hole, so that when we group, by selecting, this one's the group, when we group that hole and that piece, and then when we group this one and this piece, should be like a puzzle piece. We are able to like zoom in really, really far and check it. It looked like when I zoomed it all the way in, it fit. It looks like my board is off a little bit here, so what I might want to do is bring over another shape, and you can always like cut off the top and bottom so I know that it's aligned. So I can copy that and put another one up here so I don't have that like little hanger on, and I'm going to select everything. Oh no, I didn't mean to group it. My bad. I don't want to do that because now I've just lost my puzzle piece. So instead, like, or that, or I could ungroup all of this and figure out why it wasn't lined up, or we just cut it and see where the error is, because we know we're going to have a few more puzzle pieces, so maybe I want to keep those together. I can just bring this down like it's small and bring this up. There we go. I might want to zoom in to make sure I'm like exactly the same height. There we go. So now I have one puzzle piece. Tricky. It's very technical, and we won't really know till we cut it out on our cardboard prototype how it's going, but I would probably stick with just a couple, even if this is like, because I know Cade's thinking of having like an arrow here. He could even make a hole, so like if your hole is this big, and then once we figure out So I know like this is 3 tall. So if I made my hole 2 tall and then use this one to lift it up. Now it's like way too high, but I could, I need the one to, I could just cut out a little bit so that when I group that, it's like a hole, but it's not all the way through. So we could create like holes in there. I know William and Cade have something like that, so that when we do cut a piece, we'll just measure this on our prototype of cardboard, and that's the exact size piece Cade could make for his arrows. He could also do another one of those at the top, since I think he's going to have word pieces that might go in. You just want to ungroup. Let's put another one of these right here. If you didn't even want to mess with the puzzle pieces, you could just create one large rectangle with all of these, but I think the one puzzle piece is cool. And then here he could put his woodcut piece with the like name of the life cycle, and here you could put the direction that it's moving, and then just focus on these basic puzzle pieces. I think that would be a great idea. Also, if you have something where students are going to be putting something in, you need a hole like that. Just make sure that the hole doesn't go all the way through. If you're looking for controls on TinkerCAD, let me just, this one is the height. So this white box in the middle is the height. These ones are the length and width, but you can always just type in those boxes. And then this one is the one that kind of moves it up or down for a hole. So it's actually moving it up and down the work plane. You can see that it's below the work plane. You don't ever want to be below the work plane. You can see I'm still at -2, which means I'm 2 units below. You always want to be at 0 if you get your piece way up here and it's kind of like floating off in space. You can always click it and hit D to drop it back to the work plane, but it's probably going to be quite a few days just exploring with TinkerCAD. Good luck.